How much of your purpose have you wasted with distraction? Not because you weren't gifted, not because you were not called, but because somewhere between the God-given vision and the life you're living, you got pulled off the wall. Maybe it started small, a few days of misfocused here and a few compromises there, and all in all, it seemed harmless. Or maybe it was outside opinions that made you question what you once knew with clarity. And before you knew it, the fire you had started turned into smoke. And yet you're still moving, but you're not building. You're still busy, but you're not effective. You're still showing up, but you're not growing up. And herein lies the tragedy of distraction. It doesn't just steal time, it steals traction. It's kind of like in Nehemiah where his enemies tried to lure him away from rebuilding the wall. His response was simple but powerful. I am doing a great work, and I cannot come down. That statement isn't just about focus, but it is a declaration of discipline. Focus isn't about getting more done, it's about staying true to what you were called to do. It's actually not about efficiency, it's about protection. Protecting your peace, protecting your vision, protecting your destiny. This is part 3 in our vision series, and today I'm going to hit you with this notion. Distraction is not neutral, it's warfare. There is a war for your focus. And in fact, every person will face a moment where they are tempted to come down from what they're building. Sometimes it looks like busy. Sometimes it looks like being helpful. You're trying to help someone else out. And the thing that we have to be aware of is distraction rarely knocks with a warning label. It actually shows up disguised as an opportunity, a relationship, or maybe even a good idea that is not aligned with where you're going. And for some, we don't come down from what we're building because we're weak. We don't come down from what we're building because we lack the desire to build it. We come down from what we're building because we care about others. And that's where most of us lose it. Not in apathy, but in overcommitment. And here's the first insight I want you to catch. Your focus doesn't have to be destroyed in order to keep you from your purpose. It just has to be divided. You just have to start caring about everything. And once you start caring about everything as if everything is important, you'll stop caring deeply about the one thing that can actually move you forward towards your destiny. That's why I call distraction warfare, because it is the subtle redirection of divine energy. So what's been calling you down from the wall lately? What's been calling you down from what you've been building? People pleasing? Comparison? Scrolling through someone else's wall, not taking the time to build your own? Comfort? Where you're trading your vision for validation? Whatever it is, we need to identify it because we can't protect what we can't identify. Protecting your vision requires boundaries. And boundaries are not selfish, they're sacred. When you tell others, I can't lose focus on what I'm building, I can't come down off this wall, you're not being rude, you're actually being responsible. Focus is stewardship. And every yes actually has a cost attached to it. Every single distraction comes with a price. And one of the things I noticed in my life is if I don't guard my focus, life will sell it cheap to the next demand that screams the loudest. There was a season of my life where I used to say yes to everything, projects, partnerships, opportunities, and people applauded me in that season. You're doing so much. Hey, bro, you killing it. But what they didn't see was that your boy was exhausted, reactive, and drained. That's when I learned that I can be productive but not progressive. And it wasn't until I started creating boundaries, saying no to the good things to protect the God thing, that I started seeing peace return. And I want you to hear me. Peace doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things with the right heart. So maybe it's time for you to create some vision guardrails. You say, what does that look like? Maybe it looks like writing down, I will no longer blank. I will limit blank. I will prioritize blank. And then once you write them down, post them where you can visibly see it. And remember, these are not rules. They are reminders of who you're becoming. There's a hidden cost of distraction. And in fact, every time you give your attention to something that doesn't matter, you actually rob what does. But the thing is, distraction doesn't always look like laziness. Sometimes it's disguised as good stewardship. Sometimes you're so busy managing the small thing that you miss the big thing that you're supposed to be building. And the truth is, you can be so busy with business, working for somebody else, your friends going out all the time, family and their constant demands, that you ultimately end up distracted from your mission. Focus is like a sunlight. When scattered, it just warms the surface. But when concentrated, it becomes a laser, powerful enough to cut through steel. That's what your purpose looks like when it's disciplined. That's what your potential looks like when it's protected. And if you've been wondering why you feel so scattered, maybe it's not because of lack of clarity. Maybe it's because you're spreading your energy too thin. And the thing that you're going to have to come face to face with is the simple notion that purpose demands pruning. Not everything that looks alive deserves your attention. I'm going to give you a vision test. Let's see if you've come down and stopped building what you're supposed to be building. 3 questions I want you to ask. The first question, am I working on what my spirit told me to build or what people expect me to build? The second question is, do I feel more focused or do I feel more fractured? And the third question is, have I started chasing applause more than obedience to the inner voice? If any of those hit home, don't feel shame, feel an invitation. Feel a call back to the wall that you're supposed to be building. And I know you're well-intentioned. I can feel you watching me and you're saying, I know, Aaron, I hear you, but this, that, this. And if that's you, I need to tell you that you cannot be everything to everyone and still be faithful to the dream. The power isn't in your hands, it's in your conviction. And every single time you say no to coming down, you're saying yes to the divine assignment. And if you're in that space where you're struggling with others, I challenge you to say this in the morning. My commitment to the dream is more important than my approval from others. And that's not arrogance, that's alignment. This week, practice saying no to the thing that doesn't serve your vision. Say no to the meeting that drains you. Say no to the relationship that's not bad, it's just confusing. Say no to the very distraction that numbs you. You're not rejecting people, you're respecting your purpose. Every visionary faces a moment where the noise gets louder than the dream. When what you're building takes longer than you thought, when the results don't match the effort, when walking in purpose feels lonelier than wandering in distraction, that's when you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. Because the wall isn't just about what you're building, it's about who you're becoming when you're building it. So again, I challenge you to audit what drains your focus, create your guardrails, and say no to at least one distraction this week. Your discipline is your defense. Your focus is your faith in motion. And I want to challenge you to protect your vision like your future depends on it, because it does. Don't allow distraction to detour your destiny. Don't trade divine focus for temporary validation. And whatever you do, don't come down, because what you're building matters. It matters. Well, that was part 3 of our vision series. If you enjoyed that video, I want you to put in the comments, I'm staying on the wall. Remember, your focus is your protection. So this week, build with vision, lead with clarity, guard your peace like it's sacred, because it is. And always remember that growth is a journey. It's not a destination. I'm in it with you. I'll see you on the next one.